Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. Hello if you're new here, it's so good to have you. Today I've just filmed this eye look that I've got on. It's a very smoky, grungy, half cut crease pink situation, and every time I posted an Instagram story or an Instagram photo that had this eye look, everybody wanted to see it. I was getting messages, DMs, etc. from friends and people who don't actually know me either, just to kind of ask me if I wouldn't mind filming what's on my eyes. That's all I filmed today. I literally just filmed my eyes. I didn't film the rest of my face. If that's something that you would like to see, then let me know and I'll get that done for you. Just another quick wee disclaimer before I get into the video. I don't have the best lighting in the world, okay? I rely heavily on natural light, and I also live in Scotland, so natural light is pretty hard to come by. I obviously have a ring light, etc, so that does help massively. I also film on my phone, so it's not 100% professional, etc, etc, so please bear with me, because like I've said before, I am just starting out and I'm trying my best, so please bear with. I know it's frustrating, but it's frustrating for me as well. It's such a hard life. Really hope you enjoy the video. Please give me a like, comment, share, subscribe, etc, etc, whatever takes your fancy. I really appreciate it. Just gonna get into the video. Hope you enjoy the video. See you there. Okay, as you can see, I've already set down my lids. I used the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Concealer and then just packed a translucent powder on top of that. I've also done my eyebrows off camera and highlighted my brow bone using MAC Whisper of Guilt. And now what I'm doing is I'm just going in with the shade Devilish from the Naked Cherry palette, and I'm just using the brush that actually comes with the palette. I don't always like using brushes that come with palettes. Sometimes I think they don't really work very well and they're too dense for your eye, etc. But this one I find works really well. It helps disperse the product nicely and helps it blend out really well as well. I'm just packing that colour into the crease. I'm not going to use many colours from the palette just because I don't want them to get all kind of muddled together and create that kind of muddy effect on your eye. So what I'm doing is I'm just using this colour and starting to blend it up towards the front of the brow bone. I don't want it too high because I don't want it to look too crazy, but I do have hooded eyes, which makes it difficult for you to see my eyeshadow, so I do bring it up a little bit higher than normal, which is just what I'm doing here. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the crease. I'm using the same concealer as before, Revolution Conceal and Hydrate, and this time I'm using it in C2, and I use such a lighter shade for like cutting the crease or highlighting underneath my brow or carving my brow out, just because I want those areas to kind of stand out and be really sharp and really bright. To apply the concealer, I'm using the NYX 14 brush. I like this brush especially for cut creases because it is such a flat brush and it's really tapered at the ends, and it really does help to kind of create a really sharp line. What you saw me do earlier was put the product right in the middle of my eyelid and then look up. That kind of gives you a base shape of where you want to draw your line to match everything up. Like I said before to you guys, I've got really hooded eyes, which is why I'm having to make such stupid faces in order for you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. What I'm doing is using the other end of the brush that comes in the palette. It's a really small, dense little brush, and it's just helping me to blend out the concealer on the outer corner of my eye, just so that everything's not looking as messy. And then I'm going in with the shade Hotspot from the palette. It's just a really light shade, and I'm just setting the concealer where we've done our cut crease with that shade. Don't worry if it does go above your eye onto the shadow that we've done. We're not wanting this to be super neat anyway at the moment, because we are going to go in with the Devilish shade again and just re-deepen that colour above the crease. And now what I'm doing is I'm just packing the shade Devilish onto the outer corner of my eye and blending it onto where we've done our cut crease, just so that everything blends in really nicely, looks really seamless and really smooth. Now what I'm doing is I'm just taking the NYX 14 brush, I have cleaned it with a makeup wipe, and I'm just using the shade Turn On. It's like a little golden shimmery shade, and we're just packing that onto where we have our concealer, and kind of blending it into the Devilish shade, just again so that everything blends together quite nicely and it gives it a bit of a shine and a bit of pop of colour to the concealer. The Cherry palette itself doesn't actually have a black, and for this look I like to use a black just so that it's really grungy and really smoky. So what I'm doing is I'm just using a black from a different palette. I believe the palette that I'm actually using is just a wee Primark palette, but the black in it works really well for me. And to apply that black, I'm just using the 226 Smudger brush by Zoeva and then blending out with the NYX 17 brush. What I'm doing is I'm just going back and forth between the two brushes to intensify the product and the colour and then blend it out. The black shadow that comes with this palette isn't too dark and too pigmented, which is something that works really well for me, just because I didn't want this look to be too black and too dark. I wanted it to be more of a grungy smoky effect, so the black is actually kind of coming out more grey and more smoky, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm just using the brush again that comes with the palette one more time and then the shade Devilish again as well, just to blend that black up into the crease and just to kind of keep everything nice and smooth and all blended together. Next I'm going to go in with the Epic Ink Liner by NYX. Mine, I think it's just in the shade black. I don't think it's like any specific shade name, I think it's just the black one. This is a really deep, really dark liner, and because it's a pen with quite a small tip, I find it really easy to control as well, which is really handy because I am not the best at liner at all, really, which you will see because I go over it about 50 million times. And what I'm doing is I'm just drawing a line across my lid and then out to the side and then drawing back on myself just to create a really sharp, smooth, straight line, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Now I'm just using the Max Factor Lash Crown Mascara. Mascara isn't really a massive part of this look because we are going to stick on some lashes anyway, so any mascara will do just as long as it coats your lashes so that they can blend into the false ones. And if you're anything like me, you will poke yourself in the eye with this mascara multiple times throughout trying to do your makeup. It's painful and your eye waters, and I'm sick of doing it, but it happens every single time because I'm just really quick at putting mascara on and I just don't pay attention. We're just going to pop our lashes on now. I used the blue Duo Glue and I've always used that glue. It's perfect, it works really well for me. To pop my lashes on, I hold the mirror underneath my chin and then I use tweezers just to pop the lash onto where we've put our eyeliner as close to the lash line as we can. I'm using the Primark Sosu lashes here in the style Holly. So that's kind of the first eye done. I'm going to go and do my other eye off camera and I'll check back when it's done. Okay, so I've just done my other eye and my base off camera, and what I'm doing now is I'm just going in with the brush that comes with the palette again. I'm using the fluffy end and the shade Bing in the palette. Bing is more of a bright pink, which isn't showing up on my camera, which is just brilliant, but it is more of a bright pink. You can kind of see it there right underneath my eye, and I'm just using that to smoke out my lower lash line and create more of a grungy effect. And then we're just going to shove on some bottom mascara and then also just put a little bit onto the top lashes just to blend it in with the lash, and then that's our eye look complete. So you guys, that is how I do the eye look that I've got on. Like I said in the introduction, it's not perfect at all, like at all, not even close, but I did my best, so please bear with me. Hope you're all doing really well. Thank you so much for continually supporting me. I really appreciate it. I always see whoever likes, comments, etc. and it makes me really happy. If you have any video ideas for me, video requests, then please let me know and I'd be more than happy to get them done for you. But aside from that, that's me. I hope everyone's having a really lovely Monday. Is it Monday? It's Monday. Yeah, hope everyone's having a really lovely Monday. Hope everyone's coping in lockdown, etc. I'll see you guys on my next video. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. Bye guys.